I'm Pastor Gaylord Dutton, and this is Preach It, Preach It. Welcome to Preach It, Preach It, keeping the word alive. I'm Pastor Gaylord Dutton with my co-host, Elder Jamal Dutton. This is a fast-paced show designed to be informative, inspirational, energetic, and full of the power of God's Word. Our format is simple, yet clear. We discuss local, national, and global topics from a biblical perspective. Our goal is to provide insight, opinions, direction, and correction utilizing God's Word. Each topic will be discussed for a set time, after which a buzzer sounds and we move on to the next topic. So family, it's time to preach it, preach it. Our show this week is about a serious matter, divorce in the kingdom. Our first topic is biblical reasons for divorce. So Elder Jamal, we are in need of your wisdom, my brother. So what are your thoughts on that, man?
Divorce is such a serious matter. And it's affecting, the church, the world at large, and, pretty much everybody is impacted one way or another by, divorce. But even before we get into the biblical reasons for divorce,
yes,
let's take a step back and go into how it's important for couples to, even before they get into marriage, to make sure that they are equally yoked. Because if you're equally yoked,
right,
that's a huge step in determining whether or not you're going to even have to go through this ugly monster divorce.
Right.
Because, as you know, there are not many biblical reasons for divorce anyhow.
Right.
So let's deal with the subject even before people get married. Let's deal with how it's important for them to be equally yoked so they won't even get to that point of divorce.
Yeah, that's when premarital counseling comes in. That's when, to me, you will be able to identify if the couple is equally yoked.
Right.
And they can identify for themselves, if they are equally yoked. But this valid reason for divorce, what are some valid reasons?
Yeah, the Bible, Jesus, he said it, just to put it out there, God says that he hates divorce. He flat out hates it because of all the things that comes from it. And, Jesus talked about how in Moses' days, they were pretty much divorcing their wives for anything. The wife didn't cook right. The wife didn't do her hair that day. I want a divorce. She didn't fix the husband's favorite meal that day. I want a divorce. Jesus said, look, because of the hardness of men's heart, he allowed that to go on. He said, hey, Moses, tell the guys to give their wife a certificate of divorce. But now if we look into the New Testament,
yes,
now, Jesus basically said, hey, except for adultery, there is no other valid reason for divorce.
Oh, man.
So adultery is that only reason for divorce. And so now let's shift our focus a little bit and start going into non-biblical reasons. Because we have, Pastor, where the wife says, I'm not really feeling him anymore. Or we have the husband say, hey, I just fell out of love with her. I'm just not in love with her. What do you do then? Are they become valid reasons, or are they reasons for divorce?
To answer your question, Elder, no. No valid reason. I remember, and I know we don't have a lot of time, but I have a friend of mine who got married. This was like 10 years ago. And she said that she woke up after they got married, about 2-3 days after they got married, woke up one Saturday morning, looked at her new husband and said to herself, I no longer want to be married. I no longer want to be married. So she crept out of the bed, got her children dressed, and left.
Oh, my goodness.
That is not a valid reason to leave your husband.
She said, I just don't want to be married.
I don't want to be married. And that's what's going on in the earth. People are getting married, and they having these small arguments or disagreements, okay, whether it's relative to, family, culture, or, a little minor argument in the discussion, and they feel as if, okay, I'm no longer compatible with you. So therefore, I'm gone. that is an invalid reason to leave your new spouse.
Yeah, and the danger of that is, Bible clearly says, God says, what I join together, let no man put asunder.
Nor system.
Nor system. So it ain't no judge. It ain't, no other person can put together what can break apart what he put together. Right. And so you have all these people going through the states and through the court systems, calling themselves getting divorced, but in God's eye, he still sees them as married. And so that's happy because he says all these people that's going on to remarry are actually in adultery because God still sees them as married unless they get divorced for what he declares to be a biblical reason for divorce.
So, Doc, you have all these people in the land dealing with the ramifications of divorce.
Yeah.
Thinking in their own conscience that they are free because they got the certificate from the state of which they resided. But in God's eye, your state is still invalid.
Yep. God's word, he supersedes any state.
That's right.
He supersedes any federal law.
That's right.
It's God's law. And so what he declares to be right and what he declares to be wrong, that's just the way it is.
That's right.
I mean, it's not popular. A lot of people not going to like it. But on here on preach it, you gotta get the people the truth.
That's right, man. So I'm happy about the fact that you have maintained God's standards, and you're not letting life circumstances and the present spirit of this age that's causing many to divorce. We're talking Christians in the kingdom,
right?
Okay, but you have maintained a very, very healthy marriage, and I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah, I'm proud of you too, man.
Oh man, so we got to move on to our last topic, and this last topic and final topic is the impact of divorce in or on God's kingdom. The impact.
It's strong, Pastor, because now, here we go. Let's get into some numbers now.
Okay.
We have up to 40 people, or 40% of marriages ending in divorce. That's first marriages.
Wow.
And then we have up to 60% ending in second marriages. And then the numbers get higher. Third marriages, the divorce rate is up into the 70s. And so you have people thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. But no, if you get a divorce and you remarry, the chances are higher that you're going to get another divorce. And so you constantly have all these different, things happening. People thinking that the grass is green on the other side, but no. If you water the grass that's on your side, then that's going to allow your grass to get green.
Man, that's very interesting, man, that you brought out those statistics, man, and those numbers. I'm thinking more so also too, along with that, man, the impacts that when a couple gets a divorce, that negative impact it has on the kingdom, the family, the children, the church, the local church that they are part of, a business that they have once started, okay, and all the clients and all the partners that's attached to this couple who is now divorced. Look at the problems that it caused now. The hurt, the pain, the disconnect.
Right.
I mean, we recently had to decide, two friends of ours who had just recently got a divorce, which one of them was going to come to your party.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and that's decisions that you have to make, but that's the type of things that divorce can cause. Even on the children. I mean, studies show how children, they feel guilty because, they're thinking it's their fault. It says how they begin to act out in school. They begin to have feelings of fear, feelings of abandonment, all because of divorce. I mean, the impacts are devastating. But, Pastor, I do want to say that, unfortunately, there are many people who found themselves in divorce. So, is there redemption for those people?
Yeah, it's always redemption for those people because God is love. God still loves the person, and He hates divorce. The Bible clearly identifies that God hates divorce, but He loves the person. But to answer your question, yes, there's redemption. But once you are brought back into God's kingdom or fellowship with God, and you have reconciliation, and you have repented, and went through that whole process, that doesn't mean that you go back to your dirty laundry.
Right.
It doesn't mean you go back and find your Mr. Right or your Mrs. Right and
Right.
commit those same bad habits again.
Right.
Okay, man, we just ran out of time. We're gonna have to continue this though, man. So, well, that's all for today's show, and be sure to join us with our next show where we will discuss prejudice in the kingdom. So you don't want to miss that. Prejudice in the kingdom. So until then, I'm Pastor Gaylord Dutton with my co-host, Elder Jamal Dutton, keeping the word alive. Goodbye and God bless.